Good evening, my Real News Midday TV family. Welcome back to the channel for another news update. And in the news this evening, the beholden Portmore woman dies after being found with stab wounds in yard. The St. Catharines South police are probing the stabbing death of a woman on Sunday. She is 27-year-old Sashida Gordon, otherwise called Shaba, a vendor of Dunbeholding in Portmore. It is reported that about 4 a.m., screams were heard coming from Gordon's residence. Checks were made and she was found in her yard, suffering from stab wounds. She was assisted by the police to the Spanish Town Hospital, where she succumbed to her injuries. Security issue disrupts classes at Vauxhall High. Classes at Vauxhall High on Windward Road in Kingston were this morning disrupted following a security issue. Emergency services, including the Jamaica Fire Brigade and the Jamaica Constabulary Force, were called to the location and carried out investigations. Richard Troop, Director of Safety and Security in the Ministry of Education, said an emergency response team was quickly dispatched to the school after the report was made, and administrators advised to evacuate the school. Golden Blast Health Minister over State of Health Care System. Opposition leader Mark Golding is again taking Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton to task over his handling of the country's health care delivery system. Mr. Golding says Jamaicans continue to suffer from poor management of the health sector. He says limited bed spaces and the lack of equipment in hospitals are among issues that continue to affect Jamaicans seeking medical assistance. He is promising that the next People's National Party administration will be making the required investment in the health sector to ensure residents are afforded quality care.
We're going to make the health system decent for the people. Hallelujah! So much ripping off going in the Ministry of Health. Their accounts are in a mess. They can't produce financial statements. They get written up by the Auditor General year after year after year. And when you go to the public hospitals, you can't get a bed. You have to be on a bench or in a chair in pain when you need to be admitted. And then sometimes the people dead. That can't continue, comrades. We're not into that.
Manchester Councillor calls for trucking of water to areas experiencing dry spell. With the island experiencing reduced rainfall and some sections a dry spell over the last 2 months, there is a call for the National Water Commission to truck water to affected communities and institutions. Councillor for the Belfield Division in Manchester, Mario Mitchell, says several schools are facing a water shortage. He says political representatives have been assisting the institutions and he expects the calls to increase this week.
I want to make a special plea to the minister that since about late November, early December, we have not had any rains and we have seemed to have not yet on a dry spell and the drought is upon us. There's water shortages in Manchester itself. So I'm asking that the relevant authorities see how best they can assist with the residents of Manchester and to alleviate the plight that is there. Right now, presently, I have the basic schools, the primary schools would have called seeking assistance. So I know this upcoming week, the members of parliament, the councillors are going to have to give assistance to our schools, to our health, and to also to the police station. So I'm making an urgent plea to the minister for the trucking of water for the parishes of Manchester. And I will even go as far as to say even St. Elizabeth also, and wherever else the country may be experiencing this drought spell. At the last council meeting, we had a robust discussion on the bushfires itself, and we asked our farmers to see how best they can minimize the lighting and the clearing of lands. It is a dry spell. This is also a windy time, so we're asking that the persons take the precautions across Manchester itself and the belt, because you know agriculture is a staple and it's an important aspect of livelihood of the people from Manchester.
Fitz Bailey appointed acting police commissioner in Turks and Caicos. Fitz Bailey, who was in charge of the crime and the security portfolio at the Jamaica Constabulary Force, has been appointed acting commissioner of the Royal Turks and Caicos Islands Police Force. He was appointed to the position on November 20. Caicos Police said. Bailey had been serving in the post of Deputy Commissioner of Police in the Turks and Caicos beginning October 7, 2024, where he was expected to work for an initial 6 weeks. According to a Caribbean Media Corporation report, Bailey would work closely with the Turks and the Caicos Police Commissioner, Edwin Martin, who went on leave on October 1. Bailey retired in September 2024 from his post as a Deputy Commissioner of the JCF after serving more than 40 years in the constabulary. Following his appointment as Deputy Commissioner of Police last year, Bailey indicated that he is looking forward to offering his expertise in aiding crime-fighting efforts in the Turks and the Caicos Islands. Bailey is credited with assisting with the dismantling of the Klansman, Kings Valley, and the Ushant Wilson gangs, among others in Jamaica. Man shot while standing at a shop in White River, St. Anne. The Oterias police in St. Anne have launched an investigation into the shooting of a man outside a grocery shop in White River on Sunday evening. The 27-year-old Mason is being treated at the St. Anne's Bay Regional Hospital. It is reported that about 6:20, he was standing beside the shop when he was attacked and shot by an unknown assailant who escaped in a motor car. He was assisted to hospital for treatment. The police have not established a motive for the gun attack. 2 Jamaicans convicted in money laundering scheme tied to Colombian cartels. 2 Jamaican men were convicted in Massachusetts on Friday for their roles in a sophisticated international money laundering organization that laundered more than $6 million in drug trafficking proceeds from Colombian cartels through the United States, Caribbean, and European banking systems. St. Devon Anthony Cover, 61, was convicted of 1 count of money laundering conspiracy and 7 counts of laundering of monetary instruments, while Dennis Raymond Rowe, 59, was convicted of 1 count of money laundering conspiracy, 1 count of money laundering, and 2 counts of laundering of monetary instruments. The duo, who were found guilty following a 4-day jury trial, will be sentenced at a later date. The charges of money laundering conspiracy and the laundering of monetary instruments each provided for a sentence of up to 20 years in prison, up to 3 years of unsupervised release, and a fine of up to $500,000 or twice the amount involved, whichever is greater. United States Attorney Joshua S. Levy said Cover and Rowe were key players in a scheme that laundered millions in drugs proceeds, enabling the flow of deadly narcotics onto our streets. Over the course of the 5-year investigation that led to the arrest of 20 people, $1 million was seized from corporate bank accounts and other investigative activity. Nearly 3,000 kilograms of cocaine with a street value of over $90 million were traced back to the money laundering organization. This includes approximately 1,193 kilograms of cocaine seized at the sea 60 miles south of Jamaica in July 2019, as well as 1,555 kilograms of cocaine seized in 9 scrap metal shipping containers at the port of Buenaventura, Colombia in March 2019. According to prosecutors, it was discovered by investigators. The organization laundered over $6 million in drug proceeds through intermediary banks in the United States, as well as additional proceeds through banks in the Caribbean and Europe by use of the Colombian black market peso exchange. By using the BMPE, the defendants and their co-conspirators sought to conceal drug trafficking activity and the proceeds from law enforcement, as well as evade the currency exchange requirements in the United States and Colombia through the illegal currency exchange process. During the course of the conspiracy, Cover laundered approximately $268,000 and Rowe laundered over $600,000 by delivering bulk cash drug proceeds to undercover law enforcement. Thank you everyone for watching. See you tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. for another news update.